No one. No one was allowed to live here. The Shawnee of the north in Kentucky, the Cherokee of the east, the Chickasaws in West Tennessee, and down into Mississippi, they all wanted to live in Middle Tennessee. But when they came into Middle Tennessee, the other ones that come in, they kill them. They kill anybody that tried to live here. You were permitted to hunt, but not live.
Why is that?
Because the Indians fought over this territory.
They stated
they wanted to live here, but that they would not let the Shawnee live here by themselves and own the land.
Was that valuable?
Well, the hunting ground was valuable, and each of the tribes wanted to own this location in Middle Tennessee, but they were not allowed to do it. Hundreds of years, and so they had an agreement. Said, okay, we won't kill each other if you don't stay. So when the Over Mountain came over the mountains, and they were not allowed to by the end of the treaty of the end of the French and Indian War in 1764, the king said, nobody goes over the mountain. We agree with the Indians. Well, the people that lived in North Carolina and Virginia, they say, heck with you, we're going over the mountain. And they did. And when they went over the mountains, they were the Over Mountain people. And who did the Indians try to kill? The Over Mountain people. They were beset. So the people moved across the mountains, and here they came. And the Indians attacked them all the time. The Indians said that we own this land. Y'all can't come here. Well, the settlers said, hey, free territory, you ain't here all the time. We're going to camp out. We're going to set up our little houses, and we're going to grow crops. Well, went on, and the Over Mountain people settled, and it was in Tennessee, but they were from North Carolina. So when the British came, and in 1776, they were attacking all the colonists and any of the supporters of, the Patriots. Well, the British said, we are coming over the mountains, and we're going to kill anybody that lives over there. You ain't supposed to be there, and you're not supporting the king. So when they said that, and the British came with Major Ferguson, that the people on the other side of the mountain said, hey, we're going to have to do something before he gets to us, and they're paying the Indians to come up on this side of the mountain. Well, they had to do something. So they said, volunteers, come out. And they did. And they mustered at a place in Tennessee, and they went over the mountains, British hunting. When they did that, they found the British, and they wiped them out at a place called Kings Mountain. When they wiped the British out at Kings Mountain, it was the first of the great battles that was to take back the South. The British were in control of this country, and they were chasing Washington around. But the Over Mountain men, the Tennesseans, were the ones that went over and struck the first blow. The second blow was the Battle of Cowpens. Also, Tennesseans, Over Mountain men, fought the British and beat them at the Battle of the Cowpens, the second leg, before the British were finally destroyed at Yorktown. So the Americans, or they weren't Americans then, they were the Over Mountain people, but when Jackson came in 1813, he said, I need volunteers. Where did the volunteers come from? Nobody lived in Alabama or in Kentucky. They were Indians, and this is the only place where they really had a lot of people. So the Tennessee people who lived here, they came to this place to muster, to go to fight the Cherokee Indians, no, the Creeks, and that they mustered then again to go to the Battle of New Orleans.
Okay, well, this is a song that was written by a high school history teacher, and it went on to be a #1 hit, and it's called The Battle of New Orleans. In 1814, I took a little trip along with Colonel Jackson down to mighty Mississippi. Took a little bacon and we took a little beans, and we fought the bloody British in the town of New Orleans. Fired our guns and the British kept a-coming. There wasn't that many as there was a while ago. And fired once more and they began running down the Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. We looked down the river and we see the British come, and there must have been 100 of them beating on the drum. They stepped so high and the bugle did ring, and we stood beside the cotton belt, didn't say a thing. Fired our guns and the British kept a-coming. There wasn't that many as there was a while ago. We fired once more and then began running down the Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico.
They'll learn it by now.
Old Hickory said we can take them by surprise if we didn't fire a musket till we looked them in the eye. We held our fire till we see their faces well, and we opened up our squirrel guns and really gave them well. Fired our guns and the British kept coming. There wasn't that many as there was a while ago. We fired once more and then began running down the Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. Here's my favorite part. And they ran through the briars and they ran through the brambles and they ran through the bushes where the rabbits couldn't go. And they ran so fast the hounds couldn't catch them on their way down to the Gulf of Mexico. We fired our cannons through the barrel mounted gun, and we grabbed an alligator and we fought another round. We filled his head with cannonballs and powdered his behind, and when we fired the cannon, the gator lost his mind. Fired our guns and the British kept coming. There wasn't that many as there was a while ago. We fired once more and then began running down the Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. And they ran through the briars and they ran through the brambles and they ran through the bushes where the rabbits couldn't go. And they ran so fast the hounds couldn't catch them on their way down to the Gulf of Mexico.
Talk a little bit about the Battle of New Orleans. It only lasted 2 hours. Jackson was outnumbered 2-1, 7,000 men to 3,000. But he set up the battlefield so that the British were at a distinct disadvantage. Jackson had 8 companies. He had 2 companies from Tennessee, 2 companies from Kentucky, 2 companies, one company of free pirates, and New Orleans Company, and several others. They had never been in combat before. They had never fought together before. And he was facing Sir General Edwin Pakenham, commander of the greatest army in the world at that time, who just defeated Napoleon, in France. He took them on. As they came in, they fired their cannons, as the song said, and they laid the British down in swathes. As they got within rifle range, they were hidden behind a dirt rampart. They all stood up at the same time and fired and then ducked back down. More British fell. 2 hours later, the battle was over. Finally, the Scottish Highlanders, the most fierce fighting group in the British column, went forward, thinking they could punch a hole through it. They saw the middle was pretty tough, so they went to the right flank. The Tennesseans were on the right flank. The British were wearing scarlet red jackets, white pants with a white cross across their chest. The Tennessee squirrel hunters had a beautiful target and they just mowed it down. The British suffered 300 deaths immediately, 1,200 casualties in all, and when the going got really bad, they went back to their ships, left for England, never to try to colonize America again. So that's the Battle of New Orleans.
All right, I'm going to show how these cannons are loaded here.
All right.
Just follow me. Got black powder in a thing of aluminum foil. We're going to tamp it down here. Tamp it down at the end. There's a barrel there. Then we take the spike. We're going to spike it into the basically punctured into the black powder there.
Mm-hmm.
Take a quill, which is basically the igniter. Push that down into black powder.
It just, the screen went away.
Yeah, it does that. And that's it.
All right.
We'll be ready to light it here in just a little bit.
Fire in the hole! go!